Greetings, Judah. DFG here, Gideon's Flight. Hey, this message is for you, Judah, and specifically to you. Most of us here, Turtle Island, so-called America. Last night, Satan spoke, or at least one of his human androids spoke. And he went on and he pronounced to the entire world the importance of taking the mark of the beast. I mean, he even gave lying information, as he always does, bearing false witnesses, bringing forth half-truths, no different than he did to our sister Eve, in the garden. Or maybe I should say to our mother, Eve, in the garden, early on in the beginning of mankind. But he proceeded to talk about the 500,000 people who died from high blood pressure or illness related to high blood pressure, diabetes, liver disease, cancer. He was sure to remind us that we lost 500,000 people last year to those diseases. But of course, the false prophet or the demon is never going to tell the truth. He's going to conflate it by saying something else caused it. But that's what he does. And then he talked about the millions and millions of dollars that he gave to Big Pharma. That he bought millions, because after all, he cares about the people of Yah. So he gave them billions of dollars to produce. Let's see, how do I want to say this? To produce, I'll just call it the resources, the necessary resources to implement the mark of the beast. So he enriched them, but he said, man, what great compadres they were, for him. They're all working in unison, and how him and the other demons came together. And so he enriched those demons to ensure that those demons can produce everything that he needed to make sure that whole entire world gets that mark. Because at the end of the day, he knows that is absolutely what is necessary for him to have control. Because he said it. The false prophet, Satan, or the human android, whichever one of the three, I know I said two earlier, whichever one of the three that we heard last night, said that I'll control you to the degree that if you cooperate with me, maybe, just maybe, July 4th, I'll let you have some friends come by your house. But I ain't making no promises to you. Because at the end of the day, I have to be fully in control of everything that you do, everything that you say, every place that you go. Because after all, except you take this mark, you won't be going anywhere. And then he emphasized again, Israel, blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics. Israel. He emphasized that Israel, y'all know we got to come get y'all first. Because if there's any life left on this planet, if there's any resemblance of Yah on this planet, it's you guys, and we have got to get rid of you guys so that we can keep this planet for eternity, so that we can exist. Because we know that the day that you guys are eliminated, it belongs to us. So we got to make sure that we rid ourselves of you all. So we're going to encourage you guys first. And then, we're going to use one of our false witnesses who told us, coverings didn't work. They just were good psychologically. It gives you it makes you feel good, but they don't work. Then he came back and said they did work. Then he came back around and said they didn't work. The false witness, what's his name? Fujihama, Fusi. It's one of those three. Okay. But him, that one, who then proceeded to go to baseball games and other events with no mask on. But that's neither here nor there, because, again, that's what the heathens do. That's what the seed of the heathens do. Remember, Yeshua said that their father was a liar. Therefore, his children were liars because they're the children of Satan. And that's what they do better than anything else. They lie. They are the ultimate hypocrites. They will do some of the worst atrocities, commit some of the worst atrocities on the planet, and then come and criticize you. Let me give you a better example. They'll slaughter a whole family and look for justification and excuses. And I don't know, you could break out some windows and your name would be on front page and called thugs, hoodlums, and super predators and need to be locked up for eternity. See, that's how he conflates the lie when it comes down to you, and how he minimizes it when it comes down to them. But at the end of the day, that's what liars do. But the agenda of Satan was real clear last night. He spoke very, very well. Most of his time was about, we got to get everybody to take the mark. We got to get everybody to take the mark. That's the only way you're going to be able to get back to buying and selling. Or I think the beast called it normacy, or some semblance of normacy. Get things back to as close as we can get it back to normal. And what does that mean? Again, all control. But now to incentivize you, because you know how he is. He's got to give you a little something. You know, he's got to give you a little taste of honey, so to speak, to get you to continue to pour into, I guess, your money into this wicked system. I just had to throw that in. That didn't really mean anything. But he got to give you a little taste of honey. You know, he got to give you a little lulu to sweeten it up a little bit, to make you really believe that, you know, he has our best interest in mind. Did not he do that with Yeshua when he brought him into the Mount of Temptation? Did not he bring him up there and say, you see all the nations of the world? That's Matthew 4. And he said, see all the glory of them? He said, if you bow down and worship me, I'll give you these things. As many have done, and we see it through the entertainment industry, whatever form it is, sports, the movies, you know, corporate businesses, etc. We see how he's done it at the selling of their souls. And he makes them prisoners that they can only do and say whatever it is they're instructed to say. And if they ever get out of line, he takes it all away. See, my sisters and my brothers, this is something that you have to understand about the wicked one. He's going to come to you kind. He's going to come to you as Uncle Joe. You know, and he's going to plead with you, and he's going to reason with you, and he's going to tell you how he loves you and how you matter to him. And then he's going to tell you about he has to bless the gods of this world. He's going to say all of these wonderful words, all these great speaking words about unity and coming together and making America great and making the nations of the world, letting the world know that Satan is back in power again, and that they can count on him for wars and rumors of wars and the killing and the stealing and the robbery, the child trafficking, sex trafficking, the pedophilia, human trafficking. You can count on him. And you know, we're coming back. We're coming back strong. We're coming back strong, signaling them. And of course, they're all going to go along with it. That's why, as you see, like little small countries like Puerto Rico now understand is that they're mandatory now, that everybody now takes the mark of the beast. The mark. Some call it inoculation. Thought I'd just, for clarity, some of you guys may be a little confused, so you heard it. But I heard that country now is mandatory. And I hear other nations around the world, other countries around the world, same thing. It's soon to come here too, my brothers and sisters. That's why, Satan told us that by the end of May, he wants everybody to be, have taken the mark of the beast. That's what he said. Both great and small, rich and poor. And when you hear this stuff, doesn't it sound like music to your ears? Yay! Woo! Good job, Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe Satan. Okay. Forgot he's both of them. All right. But get them all excited. Yay! Yay, 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 yay. We got to get everybody back on this thing. We got to get everybody, together so that we can push forward our new world order. In other words, we can never allow the word of Yah to ever resonate on this earth again. We have to get rid of all the semblance of the people of Yah. We got to go find them. We got to search throughout all of Egypt to see if we can find him or find them. Oh, I'm not talking about Africa. I'm talking about right here, the new Egypt. That Deuteronomy talks about, chapter 28, how some of us came here on slave ships in bondage to be sold, bondsmen, bondswomen. So he's got to go through all of Egypt to find you, to find your children, to find me, those like me, shut us down. And he needs you to help him, because it's you who he counts on as a contact tracer to show where we are. Because, see, we blend in very well with some of the other nations here. So, he knows the melanin matters, but he can't see what's on the inside. So he needs help. So he has to monitor everything, every outlet. Shut them down. They better not say anything about anything that goes against this agenda. Because as he stated, America has to come back. America had fallen. Babylon had fallen. But Babylon has to come back. That's not the book. The book says the whore is not coming back. But of course, Satan is never going to tell you that, my sisters and brothers. He has to sell you he has to sell his agenda to you. He's got to sell you on what I would call the Kool-Aid, the cyanide Kool-Aid, lace Kool-Aid. Remember Jim Jones in the late 70s? Remember that story? They all drank the Kool-Aid, almost 1,000 of people, many of them our people, Hebrew Israelites, who drank the Kool-Aid and died with their children, their grandparents, everyone. See, the nature of the heathen doesn't change. Satan does not change. Oh, he comes in the name of spirituality. I come in the name of love and unity. That's how Jim Jones was able to entice those people to leave America and go to Ghana with him. And once he got them there, slaughtered them, every last one of them, or most of them. Those who who were not wise enough to escape. Like many of you who are listening to this channel, hopefully you're going to be wise enough to resist. I pray that you will be. Only Yah knows. I know many will say in that day, I'm not, but in that time, but under the pressure. I'm not going to let you do this. I'm not going to let you do anything. I think some of you are going to give in. But you need to know what the book has said about it. And that's the main message that I want to counter Satan's message with from last night. Satan told you that you needed to do it. He had to do it to have your life back. Yah said, resist doing it. You better not do it. For if you do, you'll have your life stolen. So now you're going to have to make the decision, Judah, which road or what path you're going to take. The broad path that many will take, or the small pathway that few will take, at a price, unfortunately, to you, to them, to us, to me. But let's go to the book, and then we're going to finish up real fast. Revelations, chapter 13, verse 14. Revelation 13:14. And he deceives them that dwell on the earth by the means of the miracles which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast. See, the beast even talked about they went to Mars last night, to the planet Mars, if you believe that. See, why did the beast have to throw that in? Because, see, that's a miracle. He said, look at us. Look what we can do. It's a lying miracle. But, he's got to throw those lies out there. Like going to the moon, and the earth is a round ball spinning in the middle of nowhere and nothingness, when our book tell us it's not. Again, verse 14. And he deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of the miracles which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast. Make the beast great again. Make America great again. Which had been wounded by a sword and did live. In other words, they had this big economic crisis, this epidemic crisis, this plague crisis. But now, look, we're coming back. You got it? And he had the power to give life to the image of the beast. Androids, human androids, cloning. That the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many that will worship the image of the beast, go along with their program, their agenda. Those who would not worship the image of the beast, those who would not go along, with their cause, with their agenda, with their lies, their wonders, their miracles, that they should be killed. And he calls it all, A-L-L, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. So if you're in prison, you're not going to escape either. If you're in prison, you know what I'm saying? You're at risk as well. Even the jailhouse ain't going to save you from this one, my brothers and sisters. And I say that because the majority of the people in the prisons are our brothers and sisters. Many of them there unjustly, I might add. 50 and again, he gave power, 60, and he called it all, both great and small, rich and poor. Your money not going to save you. Free of bond, to receive the mark in their right hands or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell. Isn't that what the beast told us last night? In other words, business, the economy is not going to come back. We got to get back to get some normalcy, get the economy going again. Did not he talk about that? Save he had the mark on the name of the beast. Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, y'all know the names, all right? Right? Or the number of his name. We got to get millions and billions of the antidote. Say it that way. Of the antidote. All right? We got to get, so that's a number attached. And here's the wisdom. Let him understand and calculate the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man. Okay? So we heard the beast talk about that. We saw the book come to life last night. If you didn't hear him, go back and listen. But listen this time with your ears open. Listen this time to learn. As Yeshua said, and Yahuwah said, let him that have ears to hear the message of Yah. So that Yah, see, if you go before these devils with the mind of Yah, with the Rahuk of Yah, revealing them, you'll see beyond the veil. You'll see the wolf. Although he'll be dressed as a sheep, you'll see that wolf. All you have to do is listen, watch, learn, understand, and then resist, even if it means to death. Remember, the beast, he's a deceiver. Remember how it started off? Verse 14. Again, 13 and 14. And read that one verse. And deceives them that dwell on the earth by the miracles which he had the power to do in the sight of men, having people distancing and covering and inoculating, all these things that he could do throughout the whole world so everybody can see it. That's the seducer. It's called seducing spirits that come to you from the doctrines, the words of devils, their statements, their lies, their deception. But that's not all, my brothers and sisters. So you got, we're being warned by Yahweh, really, in the words of Yeshua. We're being warned by Yah in the book. This is the end of the book, I might add, Revelations. So he forewarns us in 13 to be prepared, those of us who are here in these last days. See, here is what the beast is going to try to sell you upon. And this is what I'm going to do to remind you not to take the bait. So that if you decide to go that way, you are without excuse. And if you resist, then you know your mind. In other words, he said, if you resist this is the test. This is the trial that's going to prove that you are my people and I am your Elohim. If you resist. But if you don't, let's go over to verse chapter 14, Revelations. Start reading at verse 9. And the third angel that followed them with a loud voice, saying a loud voice, if any man shall worship the beast, if you're supporting the beast's agenda, and his image, and receive his mark, The same shall drink the wrath of Yahuwah, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, these who go along with the program of the beast. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment, those who go along with this agenda, those who get seduced by these doctrines of devils, those who take the mark. He says, and the smoke of their torment will come up forever and ever, and they will have no rest, day or night, who worship the beast in his image. And we go along with their program, and whoever receives the mark of his name, or his program, his agenda, his state of the union, however you want to call it, his administration, whatever you want, however you want to see it. But he says, this is the patience of the saints of Yah. Here they are that guard the commandments of Yahuwah and their belief of the Messiah. And they are blessed which die in Yahuwah from henceforth. For the Rahuk and they that may rest from their labors and their works will follow them. So there it is. Yah saying, here's the broad path that leads to destruction. Here is the narrow path that leads to everlasting life. That's the rest from the labors that he's talking about, my sisters and brothers. So I bring this message to a conclusion, right from the book, so that you're not deceived. Yeshua told us early on. He said when his followers asked him, he said, "What is going to be?" They asked him, he said, "What is the sign of your return? In the end of the world." That's why they said, "We want to know what sign should we be looking for." Right before you come, because we know that those signs will happen at the end of this dispensation or the end of the world for this generation of people. And the first thing that Yeshua said to our brothers and sisters who were there, but they wrote it for our admonition so that we would know. The first thing Yeshua said to them, be careful that you don't get deceived. And then he proceeded on to give them and to explain to them what to look for. As I just shared with you in the book, and you just heard Satan, the false prophet, the human android or whatever that was, speak last night to tell you the lie of all lies with an agenda that if you participate in it, which that's what it means about his number and taking the mark and being a part of it, you will be destroyed. Maybe not your physical body, although we heard of people now with lymph nodes and stuff, in their breasts, and people bodies all of a sudden HIV showing up in their blood and who knows what else. Strokes, paralysis, all kinds of different things going on now. But so it may show up in your body, but more importantly, it's not the body that we're talking about right now, my sisters and my brothers. You're talking about your eternal soul. So if you want to sell your eternal soul, you want to be in torment, if you want to be cast out eternally, your love, all of those who take that mark, all of you who take it, children included, if that's the destiny that you want, then, don't heed the word of Yah and go along with the agenda. And you will find out, as he said, in the end, in judgment, that you made a horrible, horrible decision. And you didn't have to make it, because Yah used the prophets and the messengers to forewarn you and took you back to his word, to the book, so that you would not be deceived. DFG, talk to you later. May Yah bless you. May Yah protect you. May Yah put his rahok around you. May Yah give you peace and mercy. May Yah put his countenance, shine his face in front of you, that your path may be guided, and at the end of the day, that you may be victorious in these last and evil days. Talk to you later. Bye now.